Hey guys, welcome back to Mondays with Michaela. This is part 2 of my interview with Josie. Enjoy! So, in the time I've known you, you have proven to be such a resilient, caring, and compassionate environmental advocate. How do you maintain this composure?
I used to be a ticket office supervisor at Thredbo, Mount Kosciuszko, and people would come on holiday and we used to say that they left their brains at home when they left, because people seem to go on holiday and they don't see things or what have you. Not a criticism, it's an observation. And I would watch people become so stressed, so, out of control because they wanted to be on the mountain, get the first run, do this, do that, push people out of the way. And so we were in charge of 40 ticket sellers, and I used to sit on my chair and whiz in the back and inspire, tell people, tell that person in the line they can come to the front, and challenge beliefs about stuff. And I think that was probably just a really good ground for me to always think that doesn't matter what happens, you can always be positive, you can always move forward. Don't get caught up, like, when they say when you've got a problem, don't focus on the problem, seek wisdom, you know. So that's kind of what I do, is no matter what happens, I know that somewhere along the line I'm going to find some wisdom and I'll just follow that trail. It's not that I ignore the problem or go into denial. It's not that. It's just that I see the reality. I do my best to try and understand it. And then I use my wisdom to try and inspire others forward.
No, that's awesome. So, the environment is what humans rely on, and undoubtedly we need to take care of it. Why do you think there are still so many people that cannot see the bigger picture?
I think it's a value proposition. I think it's, um, and like with COVID, we could all of a sudden, it wasn't this. I read an article with people saying, oh, now we're all in the same boat. And I thought, well, no, some of us aren't in the same boat. Some of us are in a sinking boat. Some of us are in a ocean liner. Some of us are on a cruise ship. Everybody's in a different situation, but we all have a common denominator now, and that is that we're all working towards the same principle, and that is to clear this virus. And I think it's the same with the environment. And back to what I was saying before, it's there every day. People don't, it's an unfortunate thing about the human condition is that we don't know what we've got until it's gone. And we often don't appreciate things until we've lost. There is a saying that those that love a lot have lost a lot. And I think that oftentimes the people who care are the people who have seen perhaps tragedy or been to places where they've seen through that behaviors have, really affected the environment, and they're the people that are making the changes. So look, I think 15 years ago, we weren't facing the issues with plastic that we're facing now. And remember, I've said to you before, we're infants of a plastic generation. We need to be kind to one another. We never realized we'd put ourselves in this position. I just saw that China's decided to go zero waste. I nearly got myself a t-shirt. I was like, this is awesome. So the consciousness is shifting, and that's something to celebrate. That is absolutely, like, I understand what you're saying. Why does it take people so long? But that's one of those things, again, that's part of the journey. And we've all got to practice compassion.
So, sadly, there has likely been a rise in plastic use during the COVID-19 pandemic. Do you think there is a way back from this, given there are going to be changed circumstances in the way people operate?
Yeah, look, I think there's a time for everything, and I understand, like, the reasons why people sort of felt fearful. People, the majority of people will often succumb to that mass consciousness. But remember that our state, the state of Victoria, has the first waste plan, and the plan is to go zero waste. And I think that, you know, we need to be banging that drum and making people understand the difference between waste to energy and zero waste, because I think that's really, really important. People don't understand that if we did waste to energy, we basically create a machine that we need to feed. Whereas if we become more resourceful and we aim for zero waste, we become more innovative, more resourceful. We waste less. I mean, even looking at, I compare food waste to cigarette butt littering, because 50% of your home waste is food waste. So if everybody decided to compost, you know, so whilst everyone's talking about how everyone's using too much plastic now, I'm like, anybody got a compost bin?
What did it mean to you when you were awarded Victoria's Local Hero of the Year?
Ooh. Well, I was really like, gosh, I was surprised, you know. I actually have a common saying, and everyone in my family goes, "Oh, here we go," and I always say, but I'm sure that someone else will get it, you know. And they're like, "You always say that." So you actually, through the process, so you have to be nominated for Australian of the Year first. I was actually nominated by he is a doctor, so he's done his PhD and was a part of BHP. He was the environmental officer for BHP for many years. And then you go through this whole process, people get interviewed, and then they come back to you, and then they invite you to Government House, but they don't go, "You're going to come to Government House and you're going to win." They go, "Oh, you're one of 3 nominees who've been chosen. You have to come to Government House and find out whether you won." And I'm like, "Oh," you know, and for me, that's nerve-wracking, because, you know, it's not like I've put myself out there for it. Someone else has put me out there for it. So it was exciting to go to Government House. We got changed in the car on the way there, and then went to the awards, and then received the Victoria's Local Hero recipient with Archie Roach. I mean, everyone's amazing, you know. They're all amazing people, but it's an honor, because you enter into an alumni, and so you have access to all these amazing people and resources, and they help you. So the sponsor for the Australia's Local Hero is the Department of Home Affairs. So they had a little chat to us in Canberra and said to us, you know, "We can open doors for you that wouldn't normally be opened." And I was thinking, "Oh, which door do I want opened?" You know. So I continue on my journey to inspire and hope that the government sees worthiness in having a national campaign of pride. So that's my thing.
No, that's awesome. You're definitely deserving of the award. I think so anyway.
Oh, thank you, Michaela. Thank you. That's very kind.
So what accomplishments are you proudest of in your career? Is it this award, or is it other things as well?
Oh gosh, you know, I probably have high standards, and I probably feel like I've really haven't done as much as I would have liked to have, because everything that I'm doing is volunteer based, and it's done outside of work.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I'm most proud about, and it actually COVID made me realize that, was my motivation and my ability to continue and persist on a goal, and not have anyone there to tell me, "Hey, you've got to get that done," or, you know. So I realized through COVID that I was actually really good at time management, really great at, like, I sound like I'm pumping up my own tires here. I realized that I was actually really good at being isolated. I was good at motivating myself. I was good at staying on target. And, you know, I think sometimes you have to stop and give yourself credit like that, because otherwise, if you don't do it, then maybe no one else will, you know. And if you are passionate about something and you can see that there's a solution, then I encourage anyone to continue. Just don't expect that you're never going to get met with adversity, because those adversities, those no's, all those things, they're all there to shape you and make you realize how important is it. Is this really important to you, or is it just something that you're doing, you know? Yeah.
So, what do you think makes a good environmental leader?
Oh, gosh. What makes a good environmental leader? Well, doing, not just saying. Persistence, a caring nature, kindness, the ability to go above and beyond, remembering what your principle is, you know, what is it that you're trying to achieve, who are you doing it for, to be open, to keep an open mind, never think that you know everything, because there'll always be someone, be willing to lift others up around you. What else? Being accountable, I think, too, and measuring what you do. Like, I realized that I probably should have studied environmental science and done like marine biology only for the sake of the science. And over the last 5 years with my efforts, I've had the ability to be a part of a lot of different little programs that are taking place. Like, for example, I put a love heart up on my Instagram the other day of nurdles.
Yeah.
There is one starfish in there that lost his dear little life. But those nurdles will actually go to the Eco Centre in St Kilda and then be sent on to RMIT University, where they will research those plastics and find out the origins, and then be able to contact those businesses that are plastic fabricators. I think we have 950 plastic fabricators in Australia. And obviously the ones coming into Port Phillip Bay are somewhere around the catchment. And so they'll be able to go and trace those nurdles back to the origin. So I encourage anyone who's on Instagram, go and have a look at my love heart and see how many different colors of nurdles you can actually see in the love heart. Like the origins, there probably would be 60 or 70 different origins. And I don't know, there's like 400 nurdles or something in this small love heart.
That's shocking.
Yeah, so just the science of it, like I think measuring what you do, like if you can't measure, someone said some saying, don't quote me exactly, but it was like, if you can't measure it, then don't do it. So
I've got one last question for you. What is one message you want to leave people with in order to encourage and empower them to take action?
Well, you know, sometimes it takes some people a long time to be inspired or to understand what their passion is. So for those people, I encourage those people to support someone who has a passion, you know, whatever it might be. It could be something silly, because once we take action, the gift of action allows us a greater sense of happiness. And so, you know, across the board, if there's anything that I could say is that if you're meeting adversity, take action, do something. You know, if you don't know what your passion is, help someone else, you know, and by doing, your happiness will increase, you'll be inspired, and you'll find your way. You'll find what your journey is.
No, absolutely. That's some good advice for people to take on board. So thank you again for all your support and help with the Eco team. Your insight is always greatly valued, and we really appreciate all the work that you do with us. So thank you.